thinking, well, how did we get here, right? You know what I mean? So thinking about where we began.
It was such a rush.
It was, like, but the first time going to that house in Gravenhurst, right, and meeting Paul there, and I remember us both saying afterwards that we thought that Paul was the kind of agent that we could trust and work with, just because of how he talked with us that day, right? Remember that? So because I remember you saying to me, man, I really like him. We like it because you were concerned about how the other realtor would feel if we were now working with a different agent up in Schofield, right? And but I remember you being quite saying he seems like a nice guy you could trust. You remember? I remember you said he seems like a really nice guy. Paul seems trustworthy, like in all the things that we remember. If you contrast that to the experience with the realtor when we were first met, the other realtor in Barrie, you said how slick he was, and you know what I mean. And so you were pretty comfortable about dealing with Paul, and because you said that you didn't feel pressured by him, and
no, not at all. What I remember most about Paul is that he didn't waste our time or his by showing us houses that we had no interest in. He seemed to find out very quickly what we were looking for, and brought us to it. Right?
Well, he did want to sell us that Palmer house, So but then when he realized we really weren't going to buy it, he worked, quite hard to, and quickly I felt, to understand what it was we were looking for. Remember him saying to us, I think I know what you would like, right? So and I remember both of us talking about that he didn't call us to try to sell us, or
no, there was no pressure at any time.
No, I'm gonna, like, we never got shown any houses that we wouldn't be.
No, that didn't fit our requirements. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I was just quite amazed at how quickly Paul was able to
narrow that down
and size up. I think I know what you're looking for, right? You know what I mean? And so I think I got it now, right? So even though I think I drove him insane. So,
Paul's a very patient person to work with, that's for sure.
That's right. He answered every question, and I certainly asked a lot. And he was available all the time, like texting, emailing,
Very prompt to respond.
Yeah, and and then, like I said, and then when we found this house, I think what struck me about working with Paul was, like, I was asking him questions well beyond what would be, I think, the responsibility of a realtor, like, dealing with mortgages, and he never said, like, Mike, that's not my job.
That's right.
Like he provided service on what I think is well beyond what a realtor would be if you had a job description. Like, I think we were pretty fortunate to.
Yeah, he was willing to help out any way he could, really.
Yeah. You'll be glad. Gee, at the end of me, and he never portrayed that. So he has my undying respect. So because when you got a guy who asks 1,000 questions, that can wear out pretty quick. So I think we got service above and beyond.
It's just a great experience overall, really.
Yeah. Well, it ended pretty well, didn't it? So, you know what I mean? And I know of stories from people working with other realtors. It wasn't our experience, but we felt really pushed that the realtor wasn't.
Yeah, and we also were approaching the realtors to go and see homes, whereas Paul was sending us information. Yeah. You might want to look at this house. Yeah. I think you might like this one.
Yeah, like I said, ultimate testimony is you would work with him again and recommend.
The question is, would he work with us again?
That's right. That's absolutely right. You know, so yeah, you gotta have a. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's true. Like, I'm not an easy guy to work with, right? So the you know, when you got someone who needs to be 150% certain, you know what I mean. So I really appreciate his patience and
everything he did for us. Yeah.
So I think we were dealing with a pretty out of the ordinary real estate agent. You know, the other thing was, you know, him inviting us to his house, his home, share his home with his family, appreciation dinner for us, right? Like clients, right?
All clients,
yeah. Because yeah, all those people they were sharing about similar experiences, very similar to ours, right? Mm-hmm. So you know, so it wasn't just our experience that with Paul. There was other people talking about but their experience of dealing with him, right? And hearing that, wow, it's just like the experience we had, right? So I would like to think we were special, but he treats everybody that way, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, but that's true. It's become like, it's more like you're dealing with a friend rather than a realtor, which is what my experience was like. Right?
Yeah, it was certainly a little more personal, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean, but that's what makes it. That's what, for me, that's what makes you, or it's someone earns your trust, because it's not just about business and I got to be somewhere, or, you know, or like when we were with him, Paul, you know, viewing a house, I felt like we had 100% of his attention. You can remember some other realtors when
he was never rushed to get out of the house, you know, so always take your time.
We didn't really know what we were looking for in a realtor. Like, it was our first experience, right? And but we quickly knew after dealing with, you know, do you remember?
No, I remember, yeah, there were a lot of, you know, we'd call and we'd say, we'd like to see this house, and she would have, you know, 5 or 6 houses we got for us to go and see, and there was no similarity between any of them, and just a lot of wasted time, and she didn't put the effort into finding
getting
what
to know
she
what we
thought
wanted.
we were interested in, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Paul would just send information and say, I think this is a house that you should come and see.
Yeah.
And you know, they were all very similar in what we were looking for. So, you know, you expect somebody to learn what it is that you are looking for, and I think he did that very quickly.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about the first 2 realtors that we dealt with. Like, one didn't really even have it. It was an imposition to schedule time to go see the house. Remember that, right? That was never the case with Paul. I was just always, like, sometimes I felt guilty because, you know, this is your family time. Oh, I'll show you the house. You know what I mean? So I never felt like Paul. I mean, Paul never made us feel like we were imposing on him. Like because I was always concerned. I was always saying to him, "Sure, you're okay with this? You know, I'm driving you insane." You know, so cause I think we learned over time about why we appreciated Paul. That's because coming into it as first timers, I mean, I think we had an intuitive sense that, you know, you want to at least trust the person, right? So, but I think when we met him, we began to work with him. I think how we knew that this was the right person, because it was in contrast to our other experiences, right? So you know, so in the end, we learned what we learned what you look for in a real estate agent. I don't think we really knew when we were coming in. Very personable guy. That's all I got. You know, that's you know. So, but that was evident from the very first time we met him.